If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and a hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's logwerk.com.
And ta-da! Here we are. Yeah, both of us. So, all right. Hey, everybody. It's time for Puzzle Talk, the Geocaching Puzzle Podcast brought to you by the Geocache Talk Network. And here are your hosts, myself and my illustrious co-host over here. Not all heroes wear capes, and he's proof of that. Tom, Electric Waterboy, Brother Man.
Squirrel Hunter Extraordinaire.
That's right. That's right. Oh, all right. It's been a busy month, and that means that we are now 1 month closer to Cache Fest, Oklahoma. And so if you have not logged or will attend for Cache Fest, Oklahoma, you can do so. Just scroll on over to the cache page. That's GCAB90Z, and scroll on over there to the cache page, and then you can log your bulletin there. So we'll post a link to it in the, good Lord, my mouse is having issues. We will, in just a second, let's see if I can do this now. Boop, copy. All right, so it is in the chat room. And so there you have it. If you have not logged a will attend, be sure to do so. We would greatly appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you in the greater Oklahoma City area for the event. So look forward to it. And if you're available and out that way, we would love to see you. And if you're going to be there, please post a will attend so we can strategize on,
strategize
on how many people are going to be showing up. So, Mr. Burnt Turtles, Houston, Texas, Dave, Lori from Seebeck Tribe, Jim, and look at that, scrolling in, Darren is here. Good to see you, Darren. Welcome. We hope the future is bright for you. Buzz82, we did get an email from you. We have chatted about your email, and we'll get you a response here in just a couple of days, I'm sure, for that email that you sent us. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, this is the last year. It was announced, and we've talked about it. I think we talked about it briefly last month, but this is the last year for going caching in Rome, Georgia. And that by far is one of the most in-depth, creative mega events that I have been to. The puzzle stuff that they do, the puzzle shirt is last year I got lost at like step 3 of like 27 on it. It was, they get down in the weeds and they like that. And that's good. But they did say this is going to be the last year. And so if you have never been to a going caching event in Rome, Georgia, highly suggest that you pull a couple of strings, you know, find the title to one of Tom's old vehicles and go get a title loan for it. And, you know, something like that, and do your best to attend if you can. It really is a great event. And so, you know, if you know, but if you can only pick 2 mega events to go to this summer, I highly suggest Cache Fest in Oklahoma, and I highly suggest the Go In Caching event in Rome, Georgia in the fall.
But if you're sick in the summer, I'd say GeoWoodstock. Is GeoWoodstock actually in summer? When does summer start?
The official, like, it's already summer in Arizona.
It's always summer in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'll be back down in Phoenix here in the next couple of weeks. I've got a work trip out to West Virginia, but yeah, it's always summer. Even in February when we go to the Yuma event, it's in the 70s. So, you know.
Well, I just looked it up. It will not be summer. Woodstock summer
in the spring.
It's still the spring. Summer doesn't start until June 20th.
Okay.
I didn't think it was that late, but
it is this year. And then Tom's got a chat. He's throwing the gauntlet down. He is going to be issuing the challenge. And that is what, Tom? Tell us about this.
You got to put out a cast with, and I got to get the notes up, with Operation Worldwide Cache Hide, because I haven't put mine out yet. Work's been kicking my tail, but I'm finally caught up, sort of. So put that link in the chat.
It is in the chat. Oh,
there we go.
It says it failed to post to Facebook. So if you're on the Facebook, it's geocaching, or for our audio listeners, it is geocachingcentral.com/operation-worldwide-cache-hide.html. Although if you probably just go to geocachingscentral.com, you can figure it out from there.
You know what? I bet it, yeah. I bet take off that HTML and it probably works. And I'm going to, well, now it worked for me on here, but then what does it say? Redirection, you can't be well, no, there it went. It's up for
Perfect. Me. All right.
So yeah, geocaching. No, that's exactly what it says. geocachingscentral.com/operate blah 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 blah. It worked.
Yeah. Did you doubt my copy and paste skills here?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But you said it didn't work for you. And this, yes, this is a superhero thing. So, Operation Superheroes.
Yes.
So your cache needs to be placed, and it's supposed to go live Sunday, April 28th at 8 a.m. Your time.
8 a.m. local time zone.
Local time zone.
Yeah, so don't try to coordinate it to where they all happen at like Eastern Daylight Time or Pacific Time Zone or whatever it is. 8 a.m. local time zone. And then, but you can go to that link and check it out. Tom's throwing down the challenge. He wants to see superhero themed puzzle caches getting published.
So I try to get one of my coworkers involved, and one of them is a comic book collector. And I don't think he quite understood it, but he brought me a Wonder Woman and a Spider-Man pin. So I thought, what am I going to do with Wonder Woman, Spider-Man pin? And then I thought, well, what if they got married? No, what if they got married and had to build a house, and then they're going to argue over what colors to paint the house? And I could go from there.
They're going to paint it the same colors, the invisible plane that Wonder Woman had.
Woo. Don't go to the bathroom on those flights.
All right, so yeah, that looks like it for news. So if you are going to be headed to Flagstaff, Arizona, bring a shade hat, because the sun there is no lie. It is for real. And that time of year,
brutal's a good adjective.
Yeah, and you're a little closer to the sun. It's Flagstaff's a higher elevation than Phoenix, so it'll probably be a little cooler, but that also means you're closer to the sun. So bring a shade hat, and if you're gonna be there, then you might as well find some caches while you're there. There are a plethora of challenge caches that are going to be relatively close to where the mega event is. And there are just a plethora of good caches in the area, but we're going to talk specifically tonight about a couple of different puzzle caches that we have solved, that we're going to give you kind of a rolling head start on how to solve some of these, so that you've got some puzzle caches pre-solved, so that then you can go in and get them. And one of these caches, I really had a good time solving it, which is the warmer, colder.
That one was fun.
I really enjoyed that. I don't know how they did it. I want to get back in there and figure out how they did it, and then make another one of those. But that was a really fun cache. It was like the Where I Go without being in a Where I Go cartridge, but we'll talk about that here in a bit. The first cache that we're going to talk about tonight is a cache by a young man. His caching name is Mindless Engine. If you're familiar with geocaches in Arizona, he puts out a plethora of them, and he's still a high school student. I believe he's still a high school student. But he puts out a bunch of really good puzzle caches down in the Phoenix area, and he's got some up in Flagstaff. So here it is. This is GC8VW0F. The title of this cache is called TNT. And let me share my screen with you guys. Add stage. All right, so let's make this a little larger for everyone. So here's TNT. It is a 3 difficulty, 4 terrain. He also likes to put caches out in the wilderness. I say the wilderness. He likes to have hiking caches. I was the first to find on a puzzle cache and an earth cache of his in the area, and he likes to make you walk for them, and that's good. So a 4 terrain, that's going to put you out somewhere in the Phoenix area or the Flagstaff area, and you can see here elevation in Flagstaff is just shy of 7,000 feet. And it doesn't take you long to hit that. So there's some good mountains just north of town. So you come down here and, there you go. There's the album cover for High Voltage, AC/DC album. If you click, it says here, if you click on the album cover, it takes you to the checker, and that is true. you can see my mouse pointer change to a finger. That takes you to the geocheck.org, which is where he has his geochecker. And then the Lonely Cache is a thing down in the Western United States. So if you're not in New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming and Montana and West, then they don't do the Lonely Cache points for caches in your state. But if you are out west, and I believe they just added Texas to that. So you can go to lonelycache.org or something like that, and that will explain what these Lonely Cache points are. But if you're out in the West for this event, then you'll probably see this on a lot of geocache description pages. So if you're interested in that, go to do a Lonely Cache Google search, and you'll come across the website that has all of this stuff. But it only covers the 11 Western states, Texas, and then the Rocky Mountains West, not counting Alaska, not counting Hawaii. So the hint on this is that TNT is the shortest song on the album. I wonder if that's important. Hide rocks near base of tree. So walk us through this, Tom. What do we got here?
Well, I wish I could remember. I solved it and I didn't write notes down. But what I do know, I can tell you, is some of those, okay. So let me tell you what I tried earlier that wasn't it. I tried ook stuff, changing all that to ooks, thinking make it was ook code, and that didn't work.
Okay.
But you can see some of this stuff is repetitive in there. You have what? 5 lines on top, 5 lines on the bottom. So maybe each line is a number.
Right.
So that's true. The first one on each one.
Right. And you'll see that some of these double up. So the second line in this group and the fourth line in the bottom match. So whatever this number is, the second number in the north coordinates is going to be the fourth number in the west coordinates, right? So you can kind of figure some of that out. The same with the first line in the north coordinates is the same as the very, very last number down here.
And you know what that first one is. So,
well, no, I take that back. It's not this one. It's the same as
it is one of them.
It's the same as the third number. So yeah. So there are some repeating numbers. So once you kind of figure out how this all works,
that first number's in there 3 times.
Oh, this number.
Yeah. That's in there.
Yeah, so times. It's there. It's also here, and then it's this number here. And some of this is pretty easy. You come up here and you're like, well, it can only be a certain number, right? Because it has to be within 2 miles. So it can only be this certain number, and the same with this over here, right? So you know what, or at least you should know what this number equates to, right? And then you should know pretty solidly what this number equates to based on the posted coordinates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you can fill some of that out in process of elimination. You know that, oh, well, this is not this and it's not that. But you don't remember how you figured out all of the oys.
No. But then there's that clue. So that clue makes me wonder if that is important.
What's that?
That clue makes me wonder if that was something. I don't know. I sat down here one night. When did I solve this? March 5th. It was a Tuesday night.
Okay.
March 5th. So that means, gosh.
That must have been right after our last show.
I
when
think
we were
so.
sitting there looking around. Yeah.
And so I did all of them. I did that night. The ones that I've got solved for here.
Yeah.
So I wish I had taken better notes, but I also told you my checker thing. What I have in my notes is that it had certitude. So I don't know. But I put the same coordinates that I have from my certitude answer in the checker that's there now, and it works for that too. So,
well, there you have it. So
he may have changed checkers on us.
And that's possible because this checker does take you to a geocheck.org and whatnot. So,
I don't know, but there's got to be something. Got to be something. I'm missing something.
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But I will tell you, it is like you said. He takes you on a hike on this one. It looked like there was good parking, and you're going a little hike. It's not going to be too strenuous, but
yeah,
you're gonna walk a bit.
You're gonna work for it.
You are gonna work for it.
Oh well, that is a classic mindless engine. So nothing wrong with that at all, in my opinion. Just know that you are going to be in Flagstaff, during, at a warm part of the year. So make sure you have plenty of water if you go very far. And if you're not used to geocaching at elevation, right? 7,000 feet doesn't sound like much, but if you live at sea level, 7,000 feet can whoop your hind end on a mile-long hike.
There's a little bit less oxygen up there.
So make sure that you acclimate to the altitude if you're not used to it. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Make sure you cover up from the sun, because if you don't do all three of those things and you just run out and decide that you're going to go be He-Man or She-Ra or maybe Skeletor, then it can come back to bite you in the hindquarters. So just keep that in mind as you're going around.
You said how hot in the day, but when the sun goes down, doesn't it kind of drop pretty quick too?
It can. It does down in the Phoenix area. So, we can have in Phoenix, you can have, 40-degree swings in weather between day and night. So, it's for it to be 100 degrees during the day and 60 degrees at night, that's those are pretty big swings in temperature. I'd have to look at what Flagstaff weather does, but just keep in mind that if you're acclimated to the heat, then you will see people running around Flagstaff wearing sweaters at night, because you can get hypothermia in the desert. Flagstaff is up in the pine trees at 7,000 feet, but it still can happen that you can have a cold weather injury in the desert. So just keep that in mind. So, all right, this next cache is the one that me and Tom both liked the most, I'm going to share a window on this and see how it works. All right, so warmer, colder, that is GC89EVX. This is probably the one that I like the most out of all of the ones that we have solved. And so you can come down here and it tells you that this is a puzzle cache and not at the posted coordinates. And this puzzle cache was inspired by another cache owner's warmer, colder that's in North Georgia. While living in Georgia, had the opportunity to find some of their caches at around and a few of the geocachers around North Georgia events. Unfortunately, the cacher that they used is no longer with us, but he decided to bring his brilliant mind to Northern Arizona and recreate a puzzle cache. And so he gives you a couple of things that says, when out finding caches, there are a few key words that we like to say. Do you have a pen? I shouldn't have worn flip-flops or sandals. Cactus needles hurt. Where do we park? Peanut butter. They said they use this phrase instead of found it, so muggles don't ask what we found. And then you're warm or you're cold. We have done this when you spot the cache first, or if you're out with Gary Slinkard or their Motley caching crew, they'll always, if they find the cache before anybody else, they'll walk away from it and then be like, Hucklebuck. And then then that lets everybody know that the cache is that you found it. So the container is an ammo can, and you'll enjoy a short walk from a nearby parking. We recommend closed-toed shoes because cactus needles hurt.
Reminds me, we got to tell our friend Dee to wear real shoes.
Yeah, she can't borrow a pair of my white flip-flops this time around. Make sure you also send that message to Love, the lackey, because she's famous for wearing flip-flops everywhere. So, all right. So if you click on this warmer, colder, it takes you, that takes you to his cache page.
You got to hit on this site. Scroll down. Scroll down. Right above the ammo can. It says not right above the ammo can. It says you will use this site to play. You click on this site.
There we go. So there's the link to this game. So you click on there. Let's do this. Let's open in a new tab. And so, look, we're in Flagstaff.
Woohoo! Magically transported.
And so it says, hi there. It's time to play a little game. Move the cursor around the map and see if you can find where the geocache is. So you take the scroller and you can move it along the map wherever you want to put it. And wherever you put it, it will tell you that you got, at least in my case, it says I got colder. It's 6.999 kilometers from here. And so then you just pick it up and you move it here. Oh, I'm colder, and I'm 8.020 kilometers from here. So I know that it's not going west. And so if we go east with it, it tells me that I'm warmer and that I'm 4.776 kilometers. And so you just have a good time with it and kind of move this thing around. I think I did it in like 12 moves last time. You can see Lori says that she did it in 92 moves. This is by far probably my favorite cache. It is an interactive cache with with Google Maps and whatnot. So and it's funny because you can still drag your little guy out here and look at Street View and whatnot. But you can't switch to like satellite view. So, oh yeah, you can right up here. There you go. Boop. Right. And so then you can move it. And now I'm 3.3 kilometers and now I'm 4.6. So it's somewhere between here and the center of town in Flagstaff. But this is a super easy puzzle cache. It is cool and interactive, and it will take you to a real, obviously it leads you to where the geocache is. And whatnot. When you get to the right spot on this map, it will tell you that you're at the right spot, and it will give you the final coordinates for it. So, how many tries did it take you, Tom?
About that many. Somewhere between here and there.
Yeah. So over here at the museum, oh no, I'm colder at 4.0 kilometers. But I really enjoyed this one. I don't know how they engineered this, but I'm going to try and reach out to the cache owner and figure out how to do it, and probably make one of these locally at some point in time.
Well,
so
he copied it from the original, and the guy who made the original passed away. So.
Right. So, so definitely if puzzle caches are really not your forte, trying to figure out ciphers or codes, this is like the extreme opposite of that. It really is.
This is let your kid do it for you.
Judy is like, that was fun. And it absolutely was. I really had, kind of a fun time. And me and Tom solved this one last month after we got done with the show. It was really a fun puzzle to do. So if you're not all that savvy with puzzle caches, and none of us are, this is definitely a easy beginner cache for somebody to jump out at. It is rated as a 3 difficulty. I would probably not rate it so high.
No.
But, to each their own. This may really stump some people, but you just grab the little red pin and move it around the map. And,
of course, it did take you a minute to find how to get to the puzzle. So,
right, so navigating the cache page for me was the hardest part in this one. So, but the warmer, colder puzzle is a great one for beginners. It is also a regular sized ammo can. So that you're not going to get out into the woods or, out on a trail or in a park somewhere or climb up on a mountain and be looking for like a nano stuck in a pine cone, right? Although those do exist in the Flagstaff area, there are nanos that are in the base of pine cones. This is not going to be one of those. So definitely worth checking out and trying to see if you can solve this one, and then you have a puzzle cache to go find while you're there, in case you're going to do something like try to run a bunch of icons in a day. If you've only ever found 5 icons in a day, you can probably find 8
at
or
least
9. You can at least find 8 in a day. So if you're wanting to do some of that, then this is an easy puzzle cache to add to that one to see if you can, to get you a mystery cache under your belt. So, all right, we'll look at this next one, but the next one kind of scares me because at least the last 5 logs are DNFs on this thing. But
yeah.
This one is GC62MEF. and there it is in the chat room. There you go. Well, that's all right, because what that means is that you got it solved.
Yeah.
And so regardless of how many times it takes you've got it solved.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like, what do you call the guy who graduates last in his class in med school?
A doctor.
A doctor. You solved the puzzle.
That's right. And Judy, you are correct, and I absolutely just didn't think about that. The difficulty could have to do with the actual hide and not the puzzle aspect of it. So good catch, and thank you for setting me down the straight and narrow, because you are correct in that.
Well, he said it's ammo can, but he didn't say what size ammo can. It could be one of the little bitty
he said it was a 30 caliber ammo can, and it is listed as a regular, but knowing Flagstaff, it could be 40 feet up in a pine tree.
I'll just look at it then.
And just wave at it. Hi.
Yeah. I'm not falling from 40 feet.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is Stare Ye Mince.
And I am pat my back. I solved this one myself. I suck at these. Help? I suck at these.
Oh,
as soon as I see this kind, I farm them out. But I did this one. You just gotta go, poke yourself in the eye right about there with your finger, and then stare. Hold your mouth right, and then it'll come to you.
Yeah.
You only need 3 digits on each of them.
Oh, well, yep. I got the first one pretty quickly. And let's see.
And reds and greens are the hardest ones for guys to do.
Yeah, and it didn't take long. There's the second one. So if you are horrible at these magic eye pictures, you can save the image and open it in. There's a magic eye solver that will you then set it and go through all of the different presets that they have for these. And once you get to the right one, the numbers just pop out at you. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Cache Sleuth may have one of these solvers linked on his cache page. But if you struggle with these, there are solvers for them that will help you out. But you are correct. You only need 3 digits in each one. So this one's really not too bad. This does tell you that it's a tree hanger, way smaller than a koala bear. I've never been to Australia, but I have watched enough of the zoo stuff down there to know roughly how big a koala bear is. Though that makes me. We had a cache in East Texas that was like this. That the cache owner put a hint that said that it was smaller than a raccoon, and it was a little lock and lock. And they had an old raccoon stuffed animal that had been cut open and the stuffing all pulled out of it. And they stuffed the cache up inside this. And then they tied the raccoon empty stuffed animal body to a fence post. And so when you got there was this old slimy kind of decomposing raccoon there. And you had to reach inside it to get that. So makes you wonder, if that is a precursor to something for the hide or the find when you make it. So, yeah. Oh, and they do have a geochecker for this one on GeoCheck. Mint leaves are the best approach to full life station. Yep. And so you solved this one all by yourself. You didn't need Cheryl's help?
I didn't have to farm this one out. No, I don't even usually give them to Cheryl. Got another friend who does them.
All right. Oh, all right. And so we'll scroll right on along to this is the last of the puzzles from you. And so, well, and I wonder, it does say that it's a micro. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last five logs on the cache page are DNFs, but you have a cacher with 34 finds, a cacher with 1, a cacher with 48. So, that doesn't always bode well for some of these that are tricky hides, but there is a DNF from a geocacher with 59,000. And
It could have been time to go to lunch.
And then a DNF from a cacher who has 9,000, just over 9,000. So doesn't always mean that it's not there. Just take that as it is. Just because you have 60,000, lamp skirt finds in Walmarts across America does not mean that you are going to be good at spotting something out in the woods. So grain of salt for everything. So, but just know that if you do solve this one and do attempt to go for it, it may not be there. Just because. All right. And so the last one for you of the puzzles that you have submitted for this is GC9 TCTP, which is called Careful Don't Fall, by Wild Dogs. Ta-da, there we go. This is a difficulty 3, terrain 2. And note that actual coordinates are not as posted. So talk us through this.
Well, I had to go to the source code to find it, but this is the link, but this is just a simple jigsaw puzzle. And let me go to the source code because
view page source, and then control find, and then user supplied content. Oh, there's the link for the jiggity.
Yeah.
So you click on the jiggity. How many pieces are in the puzzle?
To head out to click the vintage button below. You know what? Was it? Oh, cancel to open a new link. Oh, you know what? It's that certitude thing. That's the link. It's 165. So let's see, what did it take me to do? Took me 33 minutes. I must have been messing around.
Slow poke.
Yeah, I might have been eating dinner. Or I was tired. This is after the show, so.
That is true. Hi, Miss Pat. I love when they do this because it says, I sometimes will comment from Facebook and it just says Facebook user. It doesn't tell us who you are. So always good to see you, Miss Pat. I look forward to seeing you at some mega events this summer.
If you want to go on adventure, just jump in the car with her because no telling where you're going to end up.
Lord, don't I know that. She has some of, if you don't follow Miss Pat's social media, let me tell you, that young lady goes on adventures, and they are just some of the craziest adventures. So definitely, if you're on the Instagram and whatnot, check out Miss Pat's. There's Judy. She's saying the same thing. 165 puzzle pieces on this one. Thanks, Judy. It is in here, but let's see. Let's do it a different way. Opening. Yeah, so when you get here, you do get to the jiggity 165 pieces. There's one comment, 138 solvers. This is apparently was their first puzzle per what they have here. So yeah, and then once you get it solved, it pops up the coordinates and everything on on it once you're done with the puzzle. So
So where's that in Arizona?
Dude, don't start me lying to you.
Man, I thought you knew everything in Arizona, Mr. Land
Shoot,
Manager.
no. I live in Utah.
Oh, you had to reprogram.
Yeah.
Data dump Arizona, upload Utah.
Oh, well, I still work in Arizona. I work in that thin slice of Arizona between the giant crack in the ground and the Utah border. I just happen to live in Utah. Yeah.
I guess that one, looking at that, that's just a little crack.
Yeah, it's it's one of the little finger cracks off the side of the big major crack. And this one looks like it's what is this one relatively new?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's from 2022. So I mean, this thing's coming up on 2 years old, but it only has 9 solvers.
All right, where was it? Just
or 9 finders. So, a terrain too, terrain's relative. You go for a terrain 5 in Colorado will probably be a lot different than a terrain 5 in Florida. It's a relative scale. So,
this is like a pretty normal place where it's hidden.
All right. All right. So we're gonna jump into the 3 that I have for the show. The first one is called Campbell Mesa. It is GC81K81. And there it is in the chat room for those that would like to follow along. This is called Campbell Mesa Prime Factor. And so you will see this YK3 KL6 individual created a good significant amount of the puzzle caches in the Flagstaff area. They almost all have been adopted by CR Wildwood. And so I'm not sure exactly what the story is with this, with these geocaches or the CO. But most of them that I've come across have been adopted out. So this one's been around since 2018, but only has 19 solvers. So doesn't always get a whole lot of attention, probably because it's math. And I know some people are scared of math and whatnot.
Math is good.
He does have on a 1 to 10 scale, he lists this difficulty as a 2. And the cache difficulty. So this is something that this CO does. He has a puzzle difficulty and a cache difficulty on there. This is a 4 out of 10 or a 2 out of 5 for cache difficulty. They built everything on a 10-star scale for some reason, but the math problem is right here. So it's north 35 degrees, 12 dot, and then you got in parentheses 2, 2, and 23. So for those who don't know, if you took a number and reduced it down to its prime factors, which is what they've done, they have divided this down to where the only numbers that are left are prime numbers. Right. And so they have divided the big number down to its prime factors. And so the alternate math for division is what, Tom?
I was studying the thing. I missed the last part. You're saying what's a prime number? It's only divisible by 1 in itself.
Right. So what is the opposite of division in math?
Multiplication.
So to get the answer to this, you would take all of your prime factors and
multiply
them. So if you took if you take 2 times 2 times 23, you will come up with a
big number.
A big number.
Don't get me to lie to you.
And the same way with the bottom one.
92.
All right, so that's your 3-digit number.
All right.
So how do you get to a 3-digit number from that?
Put a 0 in front of it.
Hot diggity dog, you're on a roll. And then you'll do the same thing for the 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, and 5. If you multiply all of that together, you get another big number, and then you have to subtract 2 from it, right? So you do everything inside the parentheses. Multiply all of those prime numbers together will get you a big number, and then you subtract 2 from it. So there you go. But not everybody knows the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and sometimes just looking at this is odd. But in order to get the prime factors of a number, you have to divide it. And once you have divided it all the way down to its prime factors, if you to end up with the big number that you're looking for at the end, you just multiply. So there you go. There are and there's me right there. So I did solve it. I solved it on April 1st, on April Fool's Day, yesterday. So there you have it.
Woohoo! You know, and I solved it right now.
That's it. So
update note. Woohoo!
There you go. So that is a good one. It is math, but if you're not good at math, don't worry. Don't worry. This is easy math as long as you just have the multiplication button on your calculator. So not hard to do at all. Boom. All right, and so then the next one that we're going to look at is kind of a multiple choice. You can Google all of the answers if you don't know them, and if you don't know them, I'm not going to say that I think less of you, but I spent a lot of time in the military and swore an oath to uphold, defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies. And so in part of this, when I was in the Army, I had a squad leader who quizzed us on sections of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So this one is called Vintage Neon, View of the Flag, number 17. And Tammy B, who used to be Tammy P, has 2 of these in the Flagstaff area. They're super easy. If you don't know these by heart, then you can just Google them. But she comes down and gives you some facts about one of the amendments in the Constitution. And then at the very bottom, she gives you, here's your puzzle, right? So North 35, A0, B50, and then West 111, 3C, D65, where A equals that protects the right to petition the government. We should all know which amendment does that. B is bars the government from imposing excessive bail.
Well, we'll cut Darren some slack.
Yeah, we'll cut Darren's. I get that, right? Like if you're coming in from another cut, like I don't know, what France's, governing documents look like, but for an American, I would expect you to be familiar with this.
You should at least know the first one.
Yeah, you should at least know what A is. And then C states that listing specific rights in the Constitution does not mean that people do not have other rights that are not spelled out. And then D guarantees the rights to a jury in federal civil trials. So you can actually just copy and paste these if you don't know them into a Google search bar. It will tell you which amendment, and then you just plug that in for A, B, C, and D. There is is there a certitude for this one? No, but there is a checker. And so once you put the correct numbers in the checker and click the I'm not a robot square, it will update automatically. So there are 2 of these. They're super simple and easy caches to solve. And then once you get these 2 solved, then you have 2, and they're not really all that far apart in town, but there is a mile or so, but they're not far off of the interstate. One's like right on the interstate. And I can't remember if this is the one that's right on the, no, this is not the one that is right on the interstate. There's one that's right over here, like right on the interstate. And then this one is,
So by a good place to eat?
Closer to the interstate than what the icon is on the map. There is a good place to eat up where the icon is at. So, there's, I think there's there are plenty of good places to eat in Flagstaff. There you have it. So there's that one. And there's another one in town by that same cache owner. So if you'd like to grab more than one while you're in the area, then go ahead and hit some of those up. They are super simple and educational if you're unaware of that, of the puzzle contents. So there you have it. The last one we're going to look at tonight is called the Kendrick puzzle. It is GC2ZK2Q. And there's a link in the chat room for all our followers. This one was hidden in 2011. Only has 51 finds in the last 13 years that it's been out. 12 and a half. We're close enough to 13. We'll call it 13. The cache is not at the posted coordinates. This is another thing that was kind of drilled in crazy military history was presidents. So James Monroe plus Calvin Coolidge. If you don't know which presidential order these guys are, which number is associated with them, a quick Google search will solve that. And as Tom likes to say, Google is your friend.
I do that.
And then you got Zachary Taylor and Millard Fillmore. And then George Washington times 473. I wonder how hard. I wonder if you. What is George Washington times 473, Tom? Can you do that in your head?
473.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then the last of it is, I like this because we did a currency puzzle not long ago.
Okay.
So you got a Benjamin Franklin plus an Alexander Hamilton plus a George Washington.
That part makes sense to me.
Right. And then you have a William McKinley. Not very many people have seen this bill floating around.
That one's pretty darn rare.
The William McKinley minus 454.48. will give you the final coordinates to this. And so not a hard puzzle to solve. Like Tom's trying to solve it now.
I did the math wrong in my head. Okay, so now the last part makes sense.
And it looks like it's got a nice long string of finds. So it should be there. Let's see. Oh, so this one's going to be way north of town. And so up here is like where the ski resort is. And us in Utah just got snow this last weekend for Easter. So Flagstaff may have gotten some as well, as high up as they are. So there may still be white stuff hidden underneath some of these trees that are up here, because there's a ski resort right up here where one of the official side events that where you can ride in the gondola goes up the ski slope. And they said if there's no snow, then, I think maybe you can get off at the top, maybe not. I don't. But there is a side event that goes up the gondola ride at the ski slope there. So if you're going to be in town all week and can hang out for that, then that is another good side event that's going to be up here at the ski resort. So this one's going to be up in that neck of woods. So if you're going to that side event, hey, there's a mystery cache up there that is a pretty easy solve if you can figure out how these gentlemen, you can see how these gentlemen react to money here. But if you how these gentlemen up here at the top relate to certain numbers, then you'll be able to find the at least solve the puzzle and find the cache. It is a difficulty 2, terrain 1.5, and it is a small, so at least it's not a nano in the woods. Oh, here we go. So Lori, well, I understand about having some of those fears. So I hope that the gondola is not too high up in the air to stop you. The pictures that I've seen from that, I won't be in town for that event. So I'm okay with it, but the views that you get from the gondola ride look amazing. So
just look out, don't look down.
Yeah, just don't look down, and
and ride on me, ride up the thing with me, because if anybody starts being a jerk and making the thing swing or whatever,
Tom will throw them out.
I'll throw them out, because I've had to get used to heights with my job, so I've gotten used to them, but I still don't like when things are bouncing around or whatever. So,
well, we hope that you are able to get yourself through that, Lori, and ride the gondola. The pictures look amazing, both during the winter when the mountain is covered in snow, and in the spring and summertime when it's not, and it's super bright green up there. So, it ought to be a good time for everybody. So there you go.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to block your view.
Just take him a milk stout or a peanut butter stout, and he'll be your best friend for the ride.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, there you have it. There's, 7 good puzzle caches that you should be on your way to being able to solve. And hopefully, as long as a CO replaces a hanger that looks like it may be potentially missing, that gives you 7 quick. I say quick. It gives you 7 caches that you potentially could find. Yes, to both of these.
Yes, and I was going to bring that up. So, yes to snakes, and yes, they are venomous.
Yeah, so Arizona is home to more venomous reptiles than any other state in the U.S. So walk lightly and carry a big stick. Usually, if you can just, as long as you can, kind of gently tap them on the nose or on the tail with a long stick, most snakes will leave, whether they are venomous or not. But there are scorpions there, so at night, if you're camping, or if you're staying at like a cabin out in the woods, or if you've got a campground, highly encourage you to buy a good, powerful black light. All scorpions glow under a black light. And so if you are camping, or if you're staying out somewhere in the woods, or in a cabin, or at an Airbnb that has a fireplace in it, and they have a stack of wood, highly suggest that you purchase a good, powerful black light. They will make scorpions glow at night, and you'll be able to spot them easily. But yes, both of those animals do exist. They are both in abundance in the area. There are a lot of non-venomous snakes in the area, but if you don't know what you're looking at, please don't pick it up.
Just leave the nope ropes alone, and
Yes.
don't mess with the scorpions, because you have never been stung by anything that hurts as bad as a scorpion.
That is true. Scorpions are bad, and there are some. If you get stung by a scorpion in Arizona, there are a couple of them that require medical attention, and so it's always best to just go to the hospital. I will say that all of the venomous snakes in Arizona all have jewelry on their tails, and they all make sounds when they shake their little maracas that they have on their tails. There's not a single. It's unlike the eastern United States or the southern that have both copperheads or water moccasins that are venomous reptiles that don't make noise with the jewelry on their tail. Every venomous reptile in Arizona that's not a lizard, right? Gila monsters and beaded lizards are a thing, but probably not in Flagstaff. They are down in the Phoenix area. But all of the snakes all have rattles on their tails. So, just FYI, if you're out in the bushes,
The one Arizona rattlesnake I met up with he's pretty friendly. My buddy decided he had to touch him and poke him, and snake posed for the picture and then just slowly moved on.
Yep. So there you have it. Those are the 7 caches. We hope to see you if you are coming out to Flagstaff. I will be there. Tom will be there. So look for that guy. Look for this guy.
For that guy.
We'll be there. I'm
Say
coming
howdy
in.
to us.
That's right. I'm coming in afternoon of Friday. I'll be in Flagstaff, and then we'll stay through the weekend. Tom's probably going to be there much longer than I, so you'll have a much better chance of running into him.
I'll be like a bad comic. I'll be there all week.
And then I am taking a bunch of my personal travel tags that I've had made to Midnight Madness. So if you've got some personal trackables that you've had made, the trackable tags, I haven't made my coin yet, but if you've got trackable tags, I will be more than happy to exchange with you. If you have lackey tags that I don't have, I'll be more than happy to exchange with you. and then we'll go from there. So hope to see you guys all there at the event. Tom hopes to see you all there. And yeah, that's all I got. Tom, would you any final thoughts on these 7 puzzles?
I know 3 of them or 2 I'm gonna solve as soon as we're done here. And I still got others to work on, so work is finally slowed down. The first part of the year is busy for tree huggers, so.
That's right. And so we look forward to seeing as many of you out at the event as we can. You've got some puzzles that are solved or close to solved, or at least you have the knowledge that you need to solve them. And we hope to see you guys out there at the event. And so let's see, what do we got? When is next? Let me click on the calendar and look at next month's show. Next month's show is going to be on the 7th.
The opening thing, you think everybody got it?
All right, as well, they got it now.
No, what
oh,
because you didn't get it at first.
I didn't get it at first. Did anybody catch this? We got a.
This is easy. Or did everybody already bail off?
Probably did. Look at the counters going down. We went from 37 to 33.
Oh, well. I forget what kind of puzzle that's called, but that was a puzzle right there.
There it was.
Hey, Buzz 82 got it.
There you go. All right, guys. Until next time, get out there, get geocaching, and we'll see you next month on the 7th. We'll figure out what we're going to do between now and then. So until then, y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Bye.